The air hung heavy with the scent of roasted beans and unspoken longing. Warm, fading sunlight painted the cafe windows in hues of amber and rose. Dust motes danced in the golden rays, each a tiny, swirling world. It was the quiet hour, the lull between day and night when the world outside seemed to fade away. And in the corner, tucked away behind a worn wooden table, sat Sarah and Mona. Mona traced patterns on her cooling cappuccino with a nervous finger. Her gaze darted around the cafe, avoiding Sarah's eyes. The silence stretched between them, thick and suffocating. It was a silence born of fear and a love that dared not speak its name. Sarah watched Mona, her heart a drum against her ribs. She knew this dance, this careful choreography of avoidance and longing. They were both masters of disguise, experts at blending in, at pretending. But here, in the golden hush of the cafe, the masks felt heavier, the truth a tangible presence. The city outside hummed with its usual cacophony. Cars honked, sirens wailed, and the distant rumble of the train echoed through the air. But inside the cafe, a different kind of tension held sway. It crackled between Sarah and Mona, unspoken, yet deafening in its intensity. Mona finally met Sarah's gaze. Her eyes, a deep, soulful brown, held a universe of unspoken emotion. Fear, longing, and a flicker of defiance danced in their depths. A silent conversation passed between them, a language only they understood. The worn wood of the table seemed to thrum with their unspoken desires. Each stolen glance, each hesitant touch, was a rebellion against the world outside. The cafe, with its warm light and the comforting aroma of coffee, became their sanctuary, a haven from judging eyes and whispered condemnations. They both knew the whispers that followed them, the sideways glances and hushed judgments. This small town held on to its traditions, its definition of what was acceptable, with an iron grip. To love openly, to be who they truly were, felt like a betrayal of everything they'd ever known. A tear traced a silent path down Mona's cheek, catching the candlelight on the table. It mirrored the single tear that trembled on Sarah's own lashes. They were reflections of each other, two halves of a whole, bound by a love that society deemed forbidden. The weight of their secret pressed down on them, threatening to suffocate the fragile hope that bloomed between them. But even in the shadows, their love persisted, a testament to the enduring power of the human heart. Sarah reached across the table, her fingers brushing against Mona's. The contact, electric and fleeting, sent shivers down Sarah's spine. In that single touch, 1,000 unspoken words were exchanged, promises whispered, fears confessed, love declared. The cafe, with its mismatched furniture and the soft murmur of other conversations, provided a strange sense of normalcy. It was a facade, a carefully constructed illusion of ordinariness that masked the extraordinary nature of their love. Mona's fingers twitched, almost reaching for Sarah's before pulling back. The gesture spoke volumes of her internal struggle. The fear of judgment, the terror of exposure, warred with the overwhelming desire to reach out, to connect, to claim Sarah as her own. The cafe faded around them, the clinking of cups and the murmur of voices dissolving into background noise. All that remained was the two of them, suspended in their own private universe. The air crackled with unspoken longing, a tangible entity that bound them together. Sarah saw her own yearning reflected in Mona's eyes, a mirror to her soul. It was a look that spoke of shared dreams, of stolen kisses in the dead of night, of a future they craved but feared to claim. The aroma of coffee mingled with the scent of Mona's perfume, a heady combination that sent Sarah's senses reeling. It was a scent she'd come to associate with stolen moments and whispered confessions, a scent that spoke of intimacy and forbidden desires. Time ceased to exist. The world outside the cafe windows dissolved into a blur of colors and motion. All that mattered was the woman sitting across from her Mona, her love, her confidant, her partner in this dangerous dance. And then, as if reading each other's minds, they both leaned in. The world held its breath. The air thrummed with anticipation. Their lips met in a kiss, hesitant at first, then deepening with a hunger that could no longer be denied. It was not a grand gesture, not a declaration of defiance. It was a quiet rebellion, a stolen moment of intimacy in a world determined to keep them apart. And in the hush of the cafe, as the last rays of the setting sun painted the sky in hues of hope and longing, Sarah and Mona dared to believe that maybe, just maybe, love could conquer all.